LiberalViewer presents.
So Major Garrett there on CBS's Face the Nation had a little bit more of a confrontational question for Peter King, actually talking about possible blowback if we continue the airstrikes, or even from the airstrikes that we've already put on ISIS in Iraq. So you can see that. And then the answer he gives includes this talk about this terrorist attack on the United States that I don't think ever actually happened or was ever even planned. But I'll talk about that a little more after I show you that clip over here.
King, let me pick up on that, because there are some analysts who've said the fact that we're now carrying out airstrikes in Iraq will make ISIS more likely than it would have been originally to attack the United States, create a grievance for them that didn't exist before. Would that also be the case in Syria, and is that something for the U.S. government to ponder?
No. Al-Qaeda didn't need a grievance to attack us on 9/11. These groups, they don't need any excuse. They will attack us whenever they can. And I would disagree with Adam. I believe strongly that ISIS does plan on attacking the United States. Even 3 years ago, their predecessor organization attempted to attack Fort Knox, and 2 people were arrested and convicted in Kentucky for that attempted attack. And again, Adam talks about, and the president talks about, setting up this coalition. They started a year ago, and they can't put it together. How long do we wait? The longer we wait, the more dangerous ISIS becomes. And my main criticism of last year was the president lined up these allies for the bombing attacks. He drew the red line, and then he pulled the rug out without telling those allies, and now they don't trust the president, and that's why you're going to find a reluctance for other countries, for instance, other Arab states, to get involved with us in a coalition.
Now the thing I was talking about that I have never been able to verify, that I've heard Peter King say multiple times, is that thing about how the predecessor organization to ISIS, with Al-Qaeda in Iraq, had 2 operatives who were planning to attack Fort Knox, and they were arrested and convicted for this planned attack on Fort Knox. And I've done all sorts of searches on this. I defy anyone to find that. The closest I found is that there were 2 members of Al-Qaeda in Iraq, former members of Al-Qaeda in Iraq, who had attacked U.S. forces in Iraq, who came over to the United States pretending to be refugees and got refugee status and moved to Kentucky near Fort Knox. And then they were found by the FBI, and they were charged with all sorts of crimes against U.S. troops back when they were in Iraq. Anyway, I defy anyone to find anything closer to what Peter King just alleged, and I've never heard anyone challenge him on it, but I think that's a totally bogus claim about how Al-Qaeda in Iraq tried to attack Fort Knox in Kentucky. But I want to know what you think. Can anyone find any evidence supporting Republican Representative Peter King's claim that Al-Qaeda planned to attack Fort Knox? And if not, does Republican Representative Peter King have Al-Qaeda confused with a James Bond villain?
YouTube, you decide.